Hey everyone, as some of you may know, I'm a big fan of off-meta picks and do a bunch of theory crafting when I play, ranging from Soraka mid, Nautilus mid, Alawi, and a bunch of others. I've always felt like I have a good read on the meta and I can actually be ahead of it. And today, I have another pick I've been theory crafting for a few weeks that I think is super good, and nobody plays it except Caps from what I've seen. On top of that, it's very fun, and nobody expects how much damage it does. So with that being said, let's get into it. The pick I have for you today is Varus mid. Now, this isn't the standard lethality Varus mid that has been meta multiple times in the past, and I'm sure you guys have seen random videos of AP Varus before, but this is different now. Also, this isn't a video on AP Varus, I have two different builds and playstyles for you. First, let me show you the potential of both builds. Here's one of the Varus builds in action. This is the one that takes more micro and mechanics to pull off, but carries extremely hard. Then, here's what the other build is capable of. This is the AP version of Varus. I'm 0-2 here, and this is the damage I can do to the Anivia. No ignite necessary either. And then another example of the lane power. Then later on in the game, when I get more items, you can see how insane the damage is. That Jinx ult didn't hit Anivia by the way, and my Q was cancelled. It was actually just R into E. Then after that I go for Soraka, and we're not done yet.
The AP build is the easier build to play and still very strong. I'll get into when I choose each build later. Also, it's worth noting that the home of content like this, which is designed to get you out of low elo and fast, is skill capped. It's the best place to learn because we teach you how to climb out of your elo, not play like a challenger where the game is totally different. There's a reason the games in high elo streams and pro play look nothing like the games you play. We teach you the best strategies from the games you're actually in so you can climb fast, guaranteed. Check us out after this. But for now, let me teach you how to play both of my Varus builds.
First off, one of the main reasons Varus is so good is his laning is very strong in a solo lane right now. They buffed his base AD by 3, which is an insane buff. That's my theory on why he's so strong. I think it's actually just from that buff. Varus has more to him than you think though, so let's talk about it. I'm going to do a very quick rundown of his abilities. His passive gives attack speed on minion or champion kill. His Q is a skill shot that gets range and damage the longer you charge it, and it does more damage to the first thing that it hits. His W passive puts stacks on whoever you auto attack, and abilities detonate those stacks to do massive % health damage. His W active makes his Q skill shot do extra damage, and makes it do more damage based off of the target's missing health. His E is another skill shot that does AoE damage and applies grievous wounds. His ult is a skill shot that roots who it hits, then that root can spread to nearby enemies as well. The kit is pretty simple, right? Well, there's more to it. Varus has actual combos that can have insane damage output, and it's all because his W has another part as well. When you detonate your blight stacks, it refunds the cooldown on other abilities depending on how many stacks you had. Let me show you. In this game I'm playing Varus vs Fizz in Masters. If we pause, I just used my E and my Q, right? So look at the cooldowns, 12 and 11. Fizz jumps in to gank me with Karthus behind him, but I knew I was about to hit 6, so I auto him 3 times to get max stacks of blight, then R. Now look at my cooldowns. It completely refreshed my E, and my Q is about to come up as well. This brings us to something important when it comes to Varus ult. His ult applies 3 stacks of blight while they are rooted, so I should have used E to detonate those stacks here, but I used it late and it missed when Fizz used Q. If my Q wasn't on cooldown for 1 second, I would have used W and Q together, but we'll get into that very shortly. Anyways, even though I missed E, I used W and Q to finish him, then killed Karthus as well with the bonus attack speed from my passive and lethal tempo from killing Fizz. So as you can see, Varus is a huge force to be reckoned with in lane. He's very scary at level 6. And even before level 6, since he's an AD champion, he does really insane damage. I know Fizz doesn't have E here, so I go all in at level 2 and he's forced to flash. Don't be afraid to limit test with lethal tempo. But if you notice there, I had an E and W at level 2, not Q. Q is what you will max in every game, but you want to start with E at level 1 always, then get W at 2 because W gives you the blight stacks. So you'll max Q, and then W and then E in every game for both builds. Varus' laning with the builds I'm going to give you is based purely around using your W stacks in lane. You get 3 stacks with either auto attacks or R, then pop them with one of your abilities. It's easiest to pop them with E. To show you an example again, in the same game, Fizz comes into lane and I auto him 3 times, then use R to pop those 3 stacks. Then the R applies another 3 stacks slowly, and I pop those with my W and Q together, and then use another auto and E to finish him. At level 6, you can 100 to 0 anyone with a full combo. You won't always be able to get a full combo though, which I'm about to show you. So if you can't get a full combo, you can get them to about 70% first, and that should be enough. Your bread and butter combo is going to look like this. 3 autos for blight stacks, then ult, then press W and charge Q and pop those blight stacks. If I charged Q all the way here, I would have killed her, but I let go of it early. But as you can see, with a standard combo, I had more than enough damage to kill her. Now, you can get an even higher damage combo that will work best versus tanks usually, as it takes a long time to set up, but you can make it work versus others as well. You'll start with 3 autos, then use W and Q, then 3 autos again into ult, then use E to pop those 3 stacks, then 3 autos into another WQ. Getting 2 enhanced Qs like this is insane damage, but as you can see, this takes a while, so someone might kill you in this amount of time, or you'll just kill them. That's why it's best versus tanks. What you can use though is a variant of this. You just do 3 autos, fully charge enhanced Q with W, then R, then WQ again. That's more than enough burst to pretty much kill anyone that isn't a tank. Alright, 2 tricks you should know for Varus as well are that he can flash while charging Q and he can buffer R and flash. Charging Q, then flashing can catch people off guard when they don't think you can reach them. And since your R has a wind up, you can press R first, then flash pretty much right afterwards, and it will blend them together like this and be really hard to react to. And finally, something small but very important. When you land R, it gives you enough time to fully charge W and Q to pop the stacks. So you basically want to use R and start charging the W and Q right away like this. Just make sure you are waiting enough time for your R to generate all 3 stacks, as they are not applied instantly. Now that you know the basics of how Varus works, let's talk about the 2 builds. The first build, which is the easier one, is AP with First Strike. Your secondary runes can be almost anything really. You can go Mana Flow Transcendence, Bone Plating, or things like Fizz, or Taste of Blood Treasure Hunter, like this, which is what I'm running most of the time. With this build, you want to start Doran's Blade, then rush Nashor's into Riftmaker. Riftmaker synergizes surprisingly well with AP Varus. You get a lot of extra damage and even some sustain. After Riftmaker, you'll want to go into Deathcap, which is your insane power spike. You one-shot anyone when you get that item, tank or squishy. After that, it's just Void and something like Banshees or Hourglass depending on what you need. For boots, you're going to want to go Magic Pen Shoes. For the other build, which is harder, but it's my personal favorite, you want a page like this, with Lethal Tempo. If you notice, in both builds I run Cosmic Insight, which gives 18 Summoner Spell Haste. This is important because in both builds I like to primarily run Flash with Ghost as my summoners. Since Varus has plenty of damage and no mobility, having Ghost lets you kite very well in fights and chase people down if you're winning. But anyways, for items. If you're against an AP jungler and an AP mid, rush Wit's End, then go Shield Bow. If not rush double AP, then just rush Shield Bow. From there, if they still have a lot of AP, get Wit's End, then go Bork into Rageblade. If they don't have a lot of AP, just go Shield Bow into Bork into Rageblade. And for boots, go Berserker's Greaves. Alright, to wrap things up, let's talk about how you want to play each build in fights. For the on-hit build, you're just playing like an ADC. It's important to understand that your autos are your main form of damage. You're still going to be popping blight stacks, especially when they're low. You want to use your W and Q together as it does more damage based off their missing health. But don't get too caught up on using abilities when autos do more damage, and you want to be autoing as much as possible. Use your R to peel or lock down a target, and remember your E has anti-healing on it. So when you ult someone, you're not going to want to do what you would do with the other build where you ult and then fully charge your W and Q. You want to ult and just start auto attacking. The AP build, however, is a completely different playstyle. With this build, you want to be looking for picks using your insane range and burst. In this first example, I see the fed Yone potentially looking to kill me, so I auto him, then use R when he jumps in, then pop the R stacks with W and Q. He was a level up on me, and that was all through Shield Bow. And then a little after that, I'm the one on the offense this time. I see Yone and ult him, then immediately start charging W and Q like we talked about. After hitting him with W and Q, that's how much HP he has, and that's through Shield Bow. So if he didn't have Shield Bow, it would have basically one-shot him. The Shield Bow is giving him a 461 damage shield. But I finish him off over the wall since my Q is back up again. So with this build, you get really insane burst and range, but when your ult is down, you have to play a bit safer until it's up, as your abilities won't be doing much damage without blight stacks, which can be dangerous to get when you have to auto attack. The way I choose which build to go is based off enemy team comp. If they have low mobility tanky champions, I like to go on hit. But if they have stuff like a Kali mid, Yone, Lee Sin, stuff that has a lot of mobility, I like to go AP because then if I just land my ult, I can explode them before they can party on my head. Alright guys, so as you can see, Varus mid is really sick. He's super fun and crazy strong. If you try this out and it works for you, let us know. But that's going to bring us to the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.